My gosh, this fuzzy hair, man. I see you winning. I'm winning. We all are winning. You're winning. I'm winning. We all are winning for life. It's Saturday. I want to go on a fast till Monday. I don't know. I just don't know why these days. Like, I just get overwhelmed. Like, real overwhelmed sometimes. I got myself some mint, living mint. I need some jars. Hi, Tim. I need some jars to, to grow mint because I do like to have it in my water. Put some cinnamon stick, some mint leaves, some lemons. I feel like I'm this healthy, healthy girl. Good morning, friend. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. Hope you're doing well from Brazil. Oh, Eric is back here. KP Writer. Hello, hello. Welcome, guys, to Post Traumatic Blitz. Today, I'm just thinking about how I miss President Obama. You know, I miss, I miss when Obama was president. If there's a time I could go back to in history, it would be when Obama was president. Okay, that's the time I'd want to go back. Today we are talking about Obama derangement syndrome. Obama lives rent free in MAGA. They go crazy when, they always talk about Obama. Obama is the most word spoken out of MAGA people's mouth. And, they have this Obama derangement syndrome, okay? They just can't accept, right, that a black man became the most powerful man in the world, right? Even after he's out of presidents, out of the presidency, these are the people who don't have what Obama has. Obama has a beautiful family. He is loved all over the world. MAGA, most MAGA men, they will never live up to Obama's success. they will die trying, right? They will never be able to become as successful as Obama, right? And they just can't figure it out how Obama, a black man without any kind of privilege, his father is Kenyan and his father wasn't even in his life, right? They can't even figure out how this man from Hawaii, born in Hawaii by a single white woman, right, was able to beat them in life, okay? They just cannot understand how, most MAGA men, let's face it, they will never be Harvard graduates, right? They're not educated. They will never be as educated as Obama, okay? Obama was one of the best presidents we've had in the history of the United States, right? If there was a time I could go back in history, it would be that time when he was president. They just cannot understand, like their marriages are falling apart. He's been faithful and married to one woman who is always talking about how great he is, right? Most MAGA men, they are going through divorce, right, left, and center, right? And then they look at Obama because they have this Obama derangement syndrome. They're so obsessed with him. He lives rent free in their head. Okay. It's been more than 10 years. He's not been president and he still lives rent free in their head. They're not talking about Biden. They're not talking about, all these other presidents, but Obama, right? They always talking about Obama, right? And you know, they will tell you he's the worst president of the United States. Of course, I'm sure he's the worst president of the United States when they are thinking about Obama, because you cannot tell me, like, average poor white people have been taught to believe, okay, that they are better than black people. Okay, so Obama is their worst nightmare because he's a black man and he comes around and then holds the highest office in the United States. Now, all these poor white people, MAGA, not educated, they cannot believe that a black man is on top of that hierarchy and he is the president, right? Mm, he has to live rent free in their minds, right? Because these are poor, uneducated white people, and their whole worldview is shaken to the core when Obama becomes president. Okay? Is their whole worldview changes that moment Obama becomes president, because he brings an end to this image of them being better than black people, because that's what the church told them, that's what politics told them, that's what school told them, right? They live in this bubble of society where they are told constantly over and over and over and over and over, right, that they are better than black people simply because they breathe the same oxygen that we breathe, right? That's the mindset, right? That's the mindset that they are told every day when they wake up by a system that's racist, right? That tells them black at the bottom and you whites are at the top, right? So even the poor, most uneducated, toothless white woman, white man, right, grows up in that system. And this is what they believe. You may think it's delusional, but it's true. Okay? You might think, like, hey, how can they? But they believe that, you know? Then they see a fine president like Obama, right? He does not have any scandals that the likes of Christi Noem and her husband have, right? this Christi Noem husband who likes big titties, dresses over, right? Obama doesn't have such scandals because he's classy. He is the best, right? Doesn't have those things, right? Trump has Obama derangement syndrome, right? Because Trump, every time he compares himself to Obama in his heart of hearts, he knows Obama is better than him. Obama is married to his sweetheart. They've not been divorced. Trump has gone through two divorces, right? And his wife doesn't even admire or love him. Okay. On the other hand, right? You see, Obama's wife wants to touch him, hug him, kiss him, hold hands, right? Things, right? Trump would badly want from Melania. He can't get those things, right? He can't get those things. You know, Trump wants to be admired by the whole world, right? But he doesn't understand how to do it the Obama way, right? Obama is loved and respected all over the world, okay? There is no place Obama cannot go in this world and be deeply loved and respected. He fathered America's interests, you know, he negotiated, created a peaceful economy. The economy thrived under Obama. Obama got an economy that was terrible from Bush, okay? He got a terrible economy. Obama's economy was the best we've ever seen since the last 25 years, okay? Obama's economy was the best. We want to go back to those good old days, okay? Because Trump takes after Obama fucks everything up. Biden comes, tries to rescue the stupid economy. Now we have Trump crashing it again. Okay. And this is what happens with the dumb people on the right. They always crashing the economy. Okay. I don't know. They will look for an excuse right now to blame this economy on Obama. Okay. They are so obsessed with Obama that Trump even tried to put racist images of the Obamas. He got a backlash within 24 hours. He had to put it down, right? But he let it stay for like 8 to 12 hours. The love that people had for Obama backfired on him. Now, everybody hates Trump, okay? Obama lives rent free in these people's heads. Obama deranged. These people, they seriously need therapy because they have Obama derangement syndrome. He lives rent free in their mind. They wake up, they think about Obama, they scream at their wives, then they don't have sex. Okay. Then it's like a negative feedback loop in their life, okay? They think about Obama, they're mean to their wives, there's no sex that day, right? And the more they don't have sex, the more they hate Obama. If there is anything I love Obama is the effect that he has on these people. I love, okay, that they have nightmares. I love, right, that Obama is causing uh, breakup in MAGA homes. Yeah, every time they compare themselves with Obama, they come up a little too short, you know, and they compare with him themselves with Obama every goddamn day. It's been 25 years, okay? I can tell you the neurocircuitry of Obama in their head has formed a myelin sheath on top of it. It means that he will live forever rent free in their heads. Obama's not going anywhere. Okay, MAGA has to find a way to make him famous every day, right? Even the backlash that Trump had, because Trump has the worst Obama derangement syndrome of all MAGA, right? Even in his presidency, right? He just wanted to do something a little embarrassing for the Obamas. And I'm sure that week he probably made the Obamas a few more, right? Because people started booking Obama again. You know, Obama was always has before he was president, he was a lawyer, he was a professor. So Obama knows how to talk to people. He goes to colleges, he talks to people. After that, I'm sure more people started booking him because he's always a teacher and a professor. And these people, these people, I tell you, Obama lives rent free in their heads. Okay? He lives rent free in MAGA mind. I mean, they just cannot face the facts of what they have been taught and the reality of the world that we are living in right now. Okay? Like, as a Black woman, if there's segregation, I would welcome segregation because I wouldn't want my kids to live next to MAGA or any of these people who have half a brain, right? Um, Hello, D Nice. So this Obama derangement syndrome, you will hear it over and over in MAGA homes with your MAGA friends. Okay, all the world's problems are bad because Obama showed them, you know, that there are fine Black men. There are presidential Black men, not this joke we have in office that is named a million times on the Epstein files. Okay? With his joke of a wife. You're overwhelmed by my natural beauty. Oh, darling. Everett. Uh, with his joke of a wife. She comes here and she says, I am not associated with Epstein. Epstein and I hear Melania and Trump the first time they had sex on Epstein's plane. They shot on a plane, probably going to Epstein Island. That's when they first had sex. I mean, I don't know how people know this stuff, okay? But they may not have had sex the first time there, but they probably had sex on Epstein plane or somewhere. Okay. These people know each other. You can't tell me. Trump is mentioned over a million times on the Epstein files. It means at this point, he is the person named most after Epstein. Okay. When they are distracting the world with Obama, Obama has nothing to do with Epstein or any of that. Obama is not even mentioned on those Epstein files even once. Okay. This is why to Obama, for the rest of history, they would never even hold a candle close to the Obamas. The Obamas are intelligent and have class, right? Apart from money, there's nothing else the Trumps have. They got nothing else, right? They have nothing. I thought Melania comes in and says, oh, I want like the victims to have a say in court. No, she wants them to have a public hearing in Congress. She doesn't want to have them to have any kind of justice. But she's doing it because apparently one of her besties is about to say stuff about her. Right? So yeah, right. So anyway, people with Obama derangement syndrome. Oh, oh yeah. Obama derangement syndrome. And my cutie pie, pretty eyes. Thank you, darling. People with Obama derangements. Today we are talking about my house. My face looks like a housewife. People with today we are talking about people with Obama derangement syndrome, aka MAGA people. They get deranged when they think about Obama. Somebody's going to get divorced that year, okay? Because 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 they get deranged. Okay. They get deranged thinking about Obama. So let's talk about Christi Noem. I was watching Don Lemon yesterday. Let me take a break a little bit. Let's talk about this. Oh, I know you probably all heard it. It's what's going on right now. Where is my phone? Oh, Jesus, Monica, don't fall. Um, it's Saturday. Sometimes I lose my phone. My face so sweet like fine wine. Darling, where's my phone? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. It's in my bathroom. Okay. Yesterday I was watching Don Lemon and he was talking about all of you know Christi Noem. She was fired as the Secretary of the Homeland Security because of the scandal that was erupting with her husband. Oh. So Don Lemon yesterday was talking about. Did you hear the Christi Noem husband story? Yeah, with the big titties? Yeah. Yeah, but did you hear the new stuff? Wait, what now? Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to play it so everybody can hear it. Okay, because it's just been so much and so. It just broke. That's why we were a little bit late coming on. Bro, he got a change, a sex change. Oh, are you ready? Okay, they got audio. You ready? Yes. Okay, roll it. That was about you.
What if people saw us together? Not even if you got recognized? What? Yeah? Yeah. You told me you loved me, didn't you? Yeah. So much better than your wife, aren't I? You can't live without me, can you? Mhm. So weak and desperate for me. What a good boy. Yo, this sounds like porn acting. A little bit weird listening to that. Are you the pizza man? Yeah, I'm the pizza guy. Wow, 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 wow. You know what I'm like, it feels like she was setting him up. Like, it was like, so do you want me? I do want you. So you miss me, you love me. It sounds like a. I feel like Chris Hansen's gonna come in and go, "What are we doing here?" Hi, I'm Chris Hansen from the Predator. Just wanting to know what's up with the what's up with the sexual innuendos. You had your penis out for no reason. What are we doing here? What's going on here? It just sounds so. Come on. Is that a real woman? No time. Why you sound like an old black? So that was a lady he was messing with behind her back? Allegedly, all of this allegedly, reportedly, according to the Daily Mail, that's him. That's what they're saying. Now, again, look, I feel weird. Like, listen, if I walked up on someone or yeah, they were at my house or something. Guess when I heard that, I'd be like, "Ooh, I'm going downstairs." You know what I'm saying? But right, yeah, I don't care what his kink is. I'm talking about the hypocrisy because they were talking about. He's saying something about transgender surgery and he wanted to be a woman. Reportedly, all of that. And Christi Noem was like very anti-trans. So it's just the hypocrisy to all of it. Most of those guys are always hypocritical, especially those right wingers that hate blacks and hate Latinos, but they'll have a Latin girl on the side. They'll have a side chick, black side chick. Sometimes a lot of those Republicans and those right wing so called Christian racists usually have a self hating ethnic chick that date them. On some real, because why would anybody that's of color date somebody with oops philosophies? They have to be self-hating. You know what I mean? A lot of times they'll, because I know guys like that bring girls like that to the comedy clubs, comedy shows. They go, they got their wives, and then they bring their little side ethnic chick that hates themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of hypocrisy. And I have friends from the gay community and talk about how, oh no, I used to date the what do you call it? The dominatrix. You know the dominatrix? Uh-huh. I used to have a friend who was a dominatrix, and she would tell me her clients. Yeah, I dated her. She would do that as a job. I dated her for a few months, and I thought it was interesting because she would come back and go, "Well, who are your clients?" Oh, they're usually those Republican dudes, those raging racist Republican dudes. They want me to stick stuff up their butt. They want me to whip them. Yeah, like, oh, shit, who's in the like this. Make me your daddy. I'm been a bad boy. Oh yeah, get your bring up here, pick on my booty hole, please. Yeah. And then the next day they're like this. Okay, Mr. President, that we got to really put some laws on it. And then the people like, I'll be your dad. Oh, oh yeah. Yeah. I'm your bad girl. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I love that. People want to feel like a slave. Oh, make me feel like a put me in chains. What they call them nail tricks. A dominatrix. I don't know. I think. Wait. I don't know if it's a dominatrix, but there's a new movie out. It's not new. What's it called? It's called. It's about stuff. But anyway, that's a whole different thing.
I mean, I swear, Godfrey is so funny. He says, "Call me Kumbunente." I don't know. Call me Kundinente. What the hell was ah? What the fucking hell was that? I swear that is um like the best way I have seen um somebody explain the hypocrisy of Republican men. Okay? They're like, Mr. President, right? Blah, 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 whatever. Right? At night, they're looking for prostitutes and anybody, right? They want things stuck up there, whatever, right? This, and then they go there and they're like, we don't want transgender. We don't like you don't want transgender, but you're okay, like, wearing big titties like that. Like, why the hypocrisy? Why the hypocrisy? This is what I've been saying, right? They're hypocrites. They are saying, you people on the left, you're doing this. People on the left are doing those things openly. There's no secrets to them. They are not giving you two faces of things, right? Let me tell you, I'd rather marry the devil that I know than the angel that I don't know. Okay, because this is kind of like the front that they like to put, like, oh, we have family values. Dude, you don't have no family values, right? You're the guy who says, call me kumtininti, I don't know, whatever. Like all these dominatrix prostitutes, they say that Republican family men are their best clients, right? Yeah. Brian Noem and his titty suit, right? And you can hear him on the uh, I don't know the level of hypocrisy. These are people. He's married to a woman holding the highest office in the top security of the US government, and her husband is soliciting prostitutes and dominatrix. Okay, that's how secure you are, because everybody knows that prostitutes and all these people cannot be bribed and paid to hack through your information by your enemies, because they so bad. Their love for their country overwhelms their love for money. Ah, well. That's the latest. Then, then, oopsie. That's the Christi Noem. Oopsie. This is so funny. Mhm. So,
For all of you that said Melania was trying to get out in front of something when she came out of left field to make her speech that she had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, it looks like y'all was right. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. First, I want to give a huge shout out to my bold faithfuls. Thank you so much for all of your support. I want to give another shout out to the newbies. Welcome to the channel. And if you've come across this video and are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I'd be happy to have you.
Click subscribe to Savita.
Unaro, and his name is Paolo Zampoli. Mhm. He currently works in Donald Trump's administration. Mhm. She was one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls. She came to the United States allegedly at the age of 16, 17 years old by way of Jeffrey Epstein's plane from Paris to New York. She was amongst the crew for all of these years. In the midst of all of these years, these two got together 19, 20 years ago. Uh-huh. They have a child together, a teenage son. He got caught cheating, cheating. He got caught cheating with possibly some girls not his age. She
Republicans.
broke up with him, moved to Miami, met and fell in love with and married a Brazilian man. I think he's a doctor. He used his position in Donald Trump's administration to have her detained by ICE. He claims he did no such thing. The rumor is he was behind her being detained by ICE. She sat in ICE detention for 5 months. Then she was deported to Brazil. I think her husband is also in Brazil. Remember, the husband, I believe, is Brazilian. Some way, somehow, there was some type of court order. He's over in Brazil. He snatches the teenage son and heads back to the United States. She is pissed. She is a woman with nothing to lose. She wants her child from this man. This man has ties to Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and that other guy who was also arrested for human trafficking, and he took his own life before he made it to trial. I can't remember that man's name. She don't want her child growing up under this man's influence. She's pissed and she has nothing to lose. Amanda been over there on the Twitter going in on Melania.
This is what Amanda, that girl, is writing. I have nothing to lose in my life. I will tear down the entire system. Be careful with me, bitch. And then I will tear down your corrupt system, even if it's the last thing I do in my life. This is what Amanda writes. I will go all the way. I am not afraid. Maybe you should be afraid of what I know, of who you are, and who your husband is. I I will take legal action against you and your pedophile husband. I've known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained by ICE. You were present in my life every year of my son's birthday, even sending, she goes all the way, well, and she says she is going to fight them until you fall as a little chicken. This is Amanda writing to Melania on X.
These are some of the tweets that I came across. I went to her Twitter page and she has taken them all down, but y'all know the internet is forever. So after doing a little digging, I was able to come across this screenshot. Y'all could pause to read. Pause to read.
Let's pause to read. I will take legal action against you and your pedophile husband. I have known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained by ICE. You were present in my life, even every year on my son's birthday, even sending secret serving and being the first to congratulate him in 2016. Something was what's clearly wrong, but I am not part of any evil mission involving children. So what did you do, Melania? You tried to involve me, but you failed because I have character. Okay? She's clearly writing this to Melania. And she's telling Melania, I will take legal action against you and your pedophile husband, President Donald Trump, right? I have known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained by ICE. You were present in my life every year on my son's birthday, even sending Secret Service and being the first to congratulate him back in 2016. Something was clearly wrong, but I am not part of any evil mission involving children. So, what did you do, Melania? You tried to involve me. Melania tried to involve Amanda Ungaro on some evil mission involving children. I think this is why Melania came to give her statement. Melania doesn't care about the victims. She just came out because she knew this was on the internet and we were going to find out, right? This is why Melania came out. Bitch doesn't care about anybody else but herself. You tried to involve me, but you failed, Ongania, because I have character. Let me tell you, that tweet, more than 200,000 people saw it, 700 people liked it, and there were 23 comments on that tweet. And then she says, do you know what I think about you after 20 years? I mean, they've been friends for 20 years. And Amanda is asking, is asking Melania, do you know what I think about you after 20 years? I mean, let me ask you. Trump has been mentioned more than 1,000,000 times on the Epstein files. Melania has never came out to talk about any of the victims or anything. We all know she must know something, right? You can't be so closely to somebody mentioned more than 1,000,000 times and not say anything, right? Melania, as long as she gets security, whatever security she gets from Trump, right? I don't think she cares about anything else. As long as her and her son are protected, the rest of you could burn. Melania doesn't care. Okay. I don't know what Amanda Ongaro thinks about Melania, but you could guess.
And this is one of the reasons why Melania Trump came out and did that press conference, came out of nowhere. One of the other reasons why Melania Trump did that press conference, it is rumored that there are some audio tapes coming out, and she's trying to get ahead of those. If you watched her full press conference, because I only shared a snippet of it, if you watched her full press conference, she talked about how There were some mean-spirited people out there. She specifically talked about James Carville and the Daily Beast and how she had to get her attorneys involved, and those people have since apologized and retracted their statements. I believe they retracted their statements because they're pussy and they don't want the headache of having to go to court with Melania. Okay? She also did the same thing to Michael Wolff. She tried to harass and bully Michael Wolff into retracting his statements. Michael Wolff was contracted by Jeffrey Epstein to write his autobiography. Michael Wolff has said it from his own mouth. You can follow him on Substack and on YouTube. He said it from his own mouth that he has dozens upon dozens of audio tapes because him and Jeffrey Epstein were meeting and discussing because he's going to be writing this autobiography. He's going to be telling Jeffrey Epstein's story. So he's got all of these audio tapes. He's also got pictures. Michael Wolff was the one, I believe, allegedly, was the one that told us that Jeffrey Epstein told him that Donald Trump and Melania consummated their relationship on the Lolita Express, Jeffrey Epstein's plane. I also believe, if I'm remembering correctly, so this is allegedly, I could have it wrong, that Michael Wolff was the one that told us that this dude, the Sam Poli dude, who's now working in Donald Trump's administration, that called ICE on his ex, he was the one that introduced Melania to Donald Trump. And so Melania said that Michael Wolff was telling too much and said that and sued him. She tried to sue him. Problem is, Michael Wolff is not the Daily Beast and he is not James Carville. Michael Wolff has been waiting for this moment. He has been waiting for this moment. And so Michael Wolff countersued Melania. Okay? Countersued Melania. Melania has been running from Michael Wolff. And this is according to Michael Wolff. He has been trying to get her served for months now. I don't know if she's ever been served. She's
Why Melania would run away? Because she doesn't want to talk about her involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Right now, she's telling people and threatening them. Whatever I got from her press conference was pretty much threatening anybody who is going to talk to her in relation with Jeffrey Epstein. You know, she wants to threaten everybody who involves her. That's what she was basically doing. She's like, keep my name out of your mouth in relation to Jeffrey Epstein or else. You know, that's basically it, right? And when Michael Wolff sues her, because if I sue you, then we have to go to court. Then everything would have to be subpoenaed and everybody has to talk. All the videos would have to come out. Everything would have to be known. She's like, oh, what the fuck? I don't want that. Let me back off, right? Because, you know, she's like, oh, this is not the trap that I wanted to put him on is actually going to entrap me, is actually going to reveal what I don't want the world to know. I better back off, right? Right now, you can't shake the Trumps. They hold the highest office. They, whatever you say, you know, they could have you detained. They own the government. They have endless resources. The US government is rich. If they want to destroy you, it will be swift, right? It would be very, very swift. They could make you disappear. You would not even, people would not, they'll make you disappear and for people to not know that you disappeared, right? It is what it is right now. The rich and the powerful, whether you like it or not, they got all the power. If they don't want something talked about, you're not going to talk about it. That's just what it is. This is what it is. It is what it is. Mm. So, yeah, they don't want you talking about it, you won't talk about it. I look amazing. Oh, thank you, darling. Anyway, that's for politics for now. That's for the politics. Um, what a day. It rained yesterday. It rained yesterday. So today is the day. Today is Saturday. So I hear that there's a budget for ICE to deport elite people, like people the Trumps view as a political threat or enemies. Um, you know, they want to send them out of here. Oh God. Oh goodness. At least they're not murdering them. They're just exiling them out of the United States. But I think Amanda Ongaro threatening to expose Melania Trump, she is she is joking with her life. She is joking with her life. But she's very well aware of it because she tweeted, if that's the last thing I will do in my life, she says, if it's the last thing I will do in my life, I'm going to do it. She knows her life is on the line. She knows, she knows exactly what these people are capable of doing, right? She knows that being unalived, you know, is a very possible thing. Okay. If the Trump administration has the power to go and kidnap the president of Venezuela, they could kill Amanda Ongaro any day. I know they're probably regretting why they spared her those 5 months they had detained her in ICE. Team, have a good day. Today is Saturday. I'm trying to, I try to come live like every day. Growing a YouTube channel is is something. Ooh. I speak blessings. I speak life into my house. I speak peace. We are watching the news and everything that's transpiring. Oh, sometimes the kitchen just can't stay clean. I don't know about your kitchen, but mine never stays clean. Oh no, it feels like I have to clean the kitchen every day. I speak blessings. Sometimes from Vancouver. How's Vancouver? How's Vancouver? Hello, darling. How's Vancouver's? Okay, this is my mopping styles. I'm not really cleaning. I'm just making sure that some stains. Just remove some stains on the floor. I'm usually sometimes you just got to do something. I have kind of like sometimes I don't like to sit down um all the time. Come forward with me. I speak blessings. Let me see. Ooh, it looks clean. So far, so good. Somebody's dangerous, dangerous. They can't find bodies dangerous. They can't find bodies dangerous, dangerous. They can't find bodies dangerous. Nando ira querer. Nando ira querer. They can't find bodies dangerous, dangerous. They can't find bodies dangerous. Nando ira querer. That's a song my teacher taught me when I was little, like doing performance. And she was like, she used to make up songs and then she would teach us her songs. And this one she made up a song about about Job, the book of Job. And that song is like, it's okay if I lose my goats and my cows, but I live a righteous life. Casiguda from Italy. So you guys can see what's going on here in the United States, the drama unfolding. This is what America wanted. These presidents had to believe, but hey, this is what we got right now. It is what it is. Let me drink my mint tea. You tell me what's going on with your worlds. What's on your mind? Tell me what's on your mind. What's on your mind right now? What's going on with your life? What's on your mind? Kasigura, what is on your mind? Apart from you like my makeup and you think I'm beautiful and I'm aging like fine wine. My birthday is close. Man, how old am I turning? Oh, guy, don't tell me. Oh, I'm almost 40. I'm almost 40. Like, I can't run away from that fact anymore. I know I don't look it. I know I don't look it, but oh God. Does this look like somebody who's almost 40? Seriously, tell me. Do I really look it? All this stress and drama people try to put on Black people, and we age like fine wine. God has a lot of humor. I didn't create this situation. I did not create this situation. Uh-huh. Talk, text, write something. Write something. Tell me what, write something. Tell me what's on your mind. What's on your mind right now? Right? Tell us. We want to know. I'm gorgeous. How you say costi bella? Sai costi bella? Is that how you say it? What does that mean? What's that? Frizzy Devon? What's on your mind? You're on my mind. I can't escape me. Chat room, good. Nice to see you again here on Post Traumatic Bliss. Sometimes I run out of topics or things to put out here, right? That's why sometimes I'll put some of the things. I know I am interested in politics. Maybe what's going on? Um, maybe maybe some of you are not interested in politics. Um, but you know, sorry. I like Tabitha Speaks Politics. I like Don Lemon, um, because they are not afraid to confront an administration that's trying to brainwash people. Um, okay. What else do you guys talk about? I like to talk about mental health, right? Mental health is a big thing for me. And when I was one of the reasons why I speak politics and mental health at the same time. No, for me, one of the reasons why, um, no, if you're MAGA, I will judge you as stupid. Okay. 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 You know, um, I don't know. In politics, I think if you don't agree with me, I judge you as less intelligent. I guess that's all we all think, but I have an always willing to learn. Yeah. So, no. So, I people say don't judge me because of my political views. Just know that I am not capable of not judging you on your political views. Okay? I will judge your intelligence based on your political views, based on your ability to be brainwashed, and based on your ability to think for yourself. I'ma judge you. No offense, but I cannot like don't ask the impossible, okay? I love Jesus, but I'm telling you it's very hard. Obama derangement syndrome, and for me to not feel not sorry for them. For me not to feel sorry for them, okay? I'm sorry, but if you have Obama derangement syndrome, inside of me, I'm like, yes, yes, MAGA hates Obama. He lives rent free in their head, right? I just, you're pissed off in Africa and African for still allowing fuckery to go on. Hey, I'm right there with you, okay? Let's be pissed off with Africa and African people because even I don't know what to do at this point. Okay, they keep selling our resources, our uranium, enriching programs of people who are going to create nuclear weapons to come and wipe out our civilization. You know, madmen like Trump, okay? They keep creating this, right? I blame African men because they want to stay in power, but they're dumb as the rocks, okay? African men are so fucking dumb because most of them are the ones who decide who they are going to vote, when they are going to vote, right? And they never ever use their brains, right? Ever. They're always looking for cheap money, right? They're instead of building systems that work for Africans, they'll take money from the Trump administration. They'll take money from Trump administration. They're not going to build any strong institutions like healthcare, education, um, industries, right? They're not going to do any of that, right? They just use that money to peddle prostitution because I don't know why, right? Most African men, when they get money, all they can think about is pussy and how to get more of it. That's the end of the civilization, right? When men, you're pissed, chat room good, you're pissed off with Africans. I'm right there with you, okay? Africans allowed systems like slavery to happen on African people. They allowed those systems because they could have said no, right? But they get these little things like the cigar, some biscuit, whatever from the West, and they're ready to sell off anybody that they can sell, right? African leaders are so corrupt. They sell our resources to the West for basically nothing, okay? So if you're pissed off at anybody, right, be pissed off at Africans. The level of stupidity is unmatched. Is unmatched because most Africans are not like the generation that we had that fought for independence. Okay? The generation, the generation before my parents, right? So I think my parents would be kind of, would my parents be Gen X? I think my parents, I don't know. I lost my parents a long time ago, so I don't know whether they'd be Gen X or baby boomers, but probably Gen X. But the baby boomer generation, that before that there was a generation that fought for the independence of Africans. So because Africans started getting independence around 1958, 1960s, right? South Africa was the last one to gain independence in 1994. So that generation fought for independence. The generation that was in their 40s, 50s, 60s, around in the 60s, right? That generation did a lot for Africa. They literally chased the white man out of the African soil. That's the I could say is the kind of like the baby boomer Africans like Mugabe, Nelson Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah. That was a tough generation. Tom Mboya was a tough generation. They had a vision for Africa. First was independence. Then they started building industries. And then now we started having all these dictators in Africa. And these dictators, what they do is they bend over backwards to Europe. Remember, when Europeans left Africa, they did not want African strong leaders. That's why they assassinated people like Patrice Lumumba, right? Tom Mboya. They basically assassinated the brightest African leaders and put in puppets to perpetuate the system of economic enslavement. So you see, like Kenya, we got a dictator planted by the administration. His name was Daniel Arap Moi. He destroyed the textile. For example, he started getting secondhand clothing from the West, right? Because Africans, we did not wear clothes like this. We had our own African attire. So for them, allowing like things like secondhand clothing to get to the African market, they destroyed the textile industries in Africa. They destroy industry where Africans kind of build the economy by creating, clothing for the rest of Africa. Now, when you start importing secondhand clothing, what do? You destroy the blooming textile industries in Kenya. This is how they destroyed Africa's ability to industrialize and to become like a manufacturing base, right? So you would see that Africa can plant coffee, but Africa does not process coffee, right? Africa will plant coffee, it gets processed in the West, and then they buy coffee from the West, right? Doesn't make sense. Africa will do the labor of growing cocoa, like cocoa trees, right? But Africans don't know the taste of chocolate because all the manufacturing and everything's done in the West. Okay? And then Africa have to buy the chocolate at a premium. Remember, they're the ones farming for the source of production. African leaders allowed this to happen to Africa. They continually allow this shit to happen. Okay? Africans keep voting for presidents that are so similar to Donald Trump. Okay? They are charismatic, stupid, have no ability to run an economy. Those are the kind of leaders that keep getting elected in Africa. I see a lot of similarities between the way the right people vote, the people on the right vote, and the way Africans vote. It's not about policy, it's not about the economy, it's just pure stupidity. Emotional and stupid. No policies. It's not about policies. I am right there with you, chat room goon. If you say African pisses you off, you think you're pissed off? Try being somebody from Africa and you're pissed off. Okay. Okay. You think you're the only one pissed off? You have no idea. You have no idea. At this time, I lost hope. I lost hope. I lost hope. Girl, you are right. I support you from Jamaica. That is what them do to our chocolate too, right? You farm, you do all this hard work, right? And then instead of everything staying in Africa, we in Africa we have other minerals that we could make our own uranium plants. We could make our own nuclear weapons, right? We sell those to the West, nuclear weapons, and then they start threatening us. If we don't give them more, they're going to destroy our civilizations. Why the fuck do they keep doing that shit? Create 5 good nuclear weapons that could wipe out everybody, and then you tell them, now this is how this goes. Okay. This is what we are going to do. We are going to have trading policies that are fair, but they keep empowering the corrupt West. Whoever told them the West had good intentions for everyone else on the world lied to them. I keep believing this shit. And I'm not saying like normal, I mean, there are evil people like MAGA, right? That support evil regimes, you know? Just the way like Germany supported Hitler and the Nazis, right? There is that mindset from the West, right? Like the ones that are uneducated, they vote for these dangerous world leaders. And a lot of African leaders, I think they don't see that as a threat to world peace. It's so easy to buy them. To buy an African leader, it's so easy. I'm not surprised by the history of African leaders selling even their own people into slavery. So easy to buy African leaders. It's like something chronic they can't help, right? And then they wonder why people don't respect Africans all over the world. Is because the leadership is pathetic, right? The corruption in Kenya. Hey, even when Trump calls African countries like shithole countries, I'm not really pissed at him when he says some of these statements because the corruption of Kenyan leaders is the corruption, right? Sometimes, yes, Trump is a man of his generation, raised by corruption and and racism. He does that, but corruption is not, uh, you know, is not a Western thing only. You know, like governments of the West are corrupt, right? But it's not exclusive to Western governments, right? It's not an exclusive problem to the Westerners. Africa has a big problem. As much as you look at the Trump administration and you're disgusted by the open exploitation of the system, enriching himself every day like he's on a mission, and you wonder why he does this, because he doesn't have long to live, right? um his health is doing so badly openly, and he is the president and he has all these resources that if they were able to help him, you know he would be he would look like he's in tip top shape, right? But he keeps declining with all this money and power that he has right now at his disposal. He won't live long. But anyway, he probably wants all these resources for his children, his wife when he dies, and all that. Um, Here's the thing, it's very hard to get rid of it's very hard to get rid of the West out of Africa because they have created systems. Um, like it gets complicated. Like I have family members, right, that are white. My like let's say like my sister was married to a white guy, and now we have children involved, right? Like, so when you say Africa must get rid of the West out of Africa, right? We have we have white family members too. Africa is becoming a melting pot. Um, just like the US. I owned I owned petrol corner gas station. I ruined. You're not ruined because of this Trump I feel for you. How is business right now? Like, what happened to your business? Rory, Rory Cannon, what happened to your business? It's very tough right now. Everything's going to become super expensive. I was looking at Amazon right now and I wanted to buy some hard drive so that I can make some YouTube videos, and I needed new hard drives. Hard drives that I used to buy for like $60 or $50 last year are now 200 or $400. And I know it's because of things that are happening in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, we are not getting goods, and now everything is more expensive. And I remember I had shot a video of me like cooking or that I want to transfer to a hard drive so that I can edit and put it on my YouTube channel. And I was frustrated because now I'd have to go back and to my old hard drives and delete videos that I had created on those hard drives because I cannot afford new hard drives, right? It's getting very bad very, very quickly. Everything is getting expensive. Have you tried to go to buy food? I tell you, when the Bible says that in the last days, food is going to become expensive, everything is going to become expensive. I mean, I feel like we are about to live, and I used to poo-poo those prophecies. I used to think like Christians are delusional, but the way you see things headed, sometimes it makes me wonder, right? There's threats of wars, there's rumors of war, these volcanoes erupting, these earthquakes happening. You know, the environment is changing, definitely. And the environment is changing. It's going to affect people's businesses, it's going to affect people's mental health, right? Everything, right? Uh, for when when America becomes more racist, like when you have a racist regime, right? The environment becomes very, very toxic for Black people suddenly. Um, Look at the 54 we must unite, called the United States of Africa. We must speak up everywhere. Feel left off and Lumumba, right? Yeah, Africa needs to unite. There is no salvation for Africa until it unites. That is that is 100%. Africa needs to operate like as an economy of scale, right? Obviously, the West does not want that to happen, right? Because Africa operates as an economy of scale. Guess what? Africa is the second largest United States. I think Africa is like 4 times larger than the United States. It means Africa can trade amongst itself without needing China, without needing Africa, without needing Europe. Africa as a continent, the second largest, just the way that Asia stands on its own. Asia can trade among itself. If Asians want, they can just keep trading among themselves and ignore the rest of the world. Like China alone has billions of people, right? Um, Whether they do that because of their governance and their systems, whatever, right? But if the US can do it on its own and flourish, and Africa is 4 times the size of the US, you know, that the US, that Africa can even do 100 times better. But Europe doesn't want Africa to do that. The West doesn't want Africa to do that. African leaders, what do you call African leaders at this time? They have no agenda for Africa, and I think they are looking for the West to save them. African leaders, I think they're still waiting for the West, Jesus, to come and save them. CJ, I look good today. Thank you, darling. African leaders are still looking for the West to save them. Don't worry, the West will save you. They love you so much. They love you so much. They are going to save you, right? Because the West is like, don't worry about your resources. We are going to figure out the use for your resources for you. And then we are going to take care of you. Don't bother building your country for you. We are going to show you the way, right? And I see on LinkedIn all these Africans regurgitating all the BS coming from the West. The world order, the United Nations, the blah, 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 blase, blase, blase. They're looking for leadership from the West still. Don't worry, the West will take care of you. Oh, you don't have to learn for yourself. You don't have to develop your own systems. You don't have to develop your own healthcare systems because the West will give you medicine when you need it, right? Such a depressing situation in Africa. Let me not lie to you. And then we have the evil Israeli regime Now I'm seeing here headlines that Israel killed 300 people in Lebanon in just one day. They're expansionists. And if you ever say anything about this expansionist Israeli regime, they say that you're anti-Semitic. Like now we are not able to call them out for being um, people who commit a genocide. Because if you say that now you're being anti-Semitic. Well then. And then there's Erica Kirk. Ah, Erica Kirk is such a joke. Let me see this woman. She said something about Erica Kirk that I found funny. Let me play it. Let me see. Let me go to her.
Charlie Kirk once went on a podcast called Whatever. Actually, he went on a couple times to talk to OnlyFans girls and gave them advice. First piece of advice is do not post suggestive material yourself.
This is Erica.
They say, "The more I post myself in a bikini on the beach, the more men will like you." No, I mean, the more they'll have sex with you, yeah, but then they'll look at you as just a visual or a commodity, not as a future soulmate. I'd rather myself be my own soulmate. Best friend. You're my best. Welcome. You're my was also referred to her mother as her best friend. I suppose you can have more than one best friend. I just think, best in show. They don't. There's not more than one. In the past, she's referred to boyfriends as her best friends. I mean, it's good, if you're that intimately involved with somebody as Erica has been before Charlie. They should be your best friend. Erica and Tyler are like all for the benefit of the music video for My Kind of Crazy because Erica is that kind of crazy. She's perfect for the. Oh my God! Wow. But you know where. I'm not allowed to let go. It's the larger ones go faster than the skinnier ones. Why is the larger ones? She means the fat ones going faster than the skinny ones. Do you think she's really that stupid? Are baby ready? This venue displays different times from around the world up on the ceiling, and are you kidding me? Yeah. That's a woman Turning Point has floated this idea that she should be president and that Charlie wanted her to be president. How would that be what's best for Erica and the children in any capacity? At the memorial, one of the first comments I made about the whole thing was, why would anybody push her in the direction of CEO? It most certainly wasn't Charlie. There is no evidence. There is nothing in writing. Show me any clip that indicates that he would even be open to the idea for mom to work and not be home, let alone in this capacity. Those who really cared about Charlie want legitimate answers. To think that people are just going to accept that this is what he wanted, even though it went against everything he ever said, it's insulting. I guess I could be the book smart. I graduated magna cum laude from Arizona State University. On her LinkedIn, she says, or she claims to be summa cum laude. And she's not even that. On her college program, she is listed there, but not in that category. Bible, theology, whatever, leadership thing, also not true. And you can Google it. It's not hard to find. And then there's the fact that she claims to have this double major, this double degree thing from Arizona State University, which somebody told me is a party school. And it's also the school that Jeffrey Epstein was most involved in. Coincidence? I don't know. When you post suggestive naked pictures. It's real. It's not AI. It's real, and I actually think it's a beautiful picture. But yeah, we'll circle back. Now, while I don't believe she's a Mossad agent, I do believe she's being used as an asset. Whether she was manipulated, whether she was played and had handlers to get her to this point, or whether she falls into this honeypot category with her an agent. I would think the honeypot would be more intentional, like just going after one person, but I really don't know that much about honeypots. You tell me. I'm Francie. I'm 25 years old from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I currently live in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. All those places are places she went following this guy around. Basketball playing boyfriend who she was really into. I mean, look at these texts. She claims to have been doing like mission charity kind of work at these places. There's no evidence of that. It's just dumbfounding to me that there are people in her life that take what she tells them as fact when it doesn't take a lot of effort to look into it. Cells. Six cells. That's your name. We did this interview or this outlining of her schedule for this. Oh God, it was just that they would have prayer night every night together and that they would call each other to do so. And then we spent literally every single day with each other since then. And I couldn't go to his house that he was staying at because I wasn't allowed to because the girl who was married to the guy he was living with was very territorial. Just the wife's fault, not hers. I'm sure she didn't do anything to make the wife uncomfortable. Are you kidding me? That's her engagement photo. I think it was taken by Tracy Martin. And I don't see much of a difference there, do you? Has serious boundary issues. The internet blew up over this. I saw Hannity, he didn't have any idea what to do. And JB, you can see him at her in that video. Like, okay, we're done now. But when this came up in the Megyn Kelly interview that she did late November, where Megyn busted her ass when the book was written, because she says, you've heard me talk before, and again, her friends could check this out. August 6th interview with Megyn Kelly. Charlie says he is working on learning Hebrew and writing the August. In Megyn Kelly's interview with Erica, she says it was done June or July. Megyn pushes because she knows she does it in her Megyn Kelly kind of way. This air of, I'm on your side, I get you. And Megyn must have been thinking, what if she's just confused and gets the date wrong? You know, it's June or July. So did you read it before? It was finished before? Calls her out. Hasn't addressed it since then. I have no doubt she knew what she was doing. No doubt. And maybe the people that are coming at Candace Owens so hard.
Yeah, she goes. Okay, you can go. She calls herself at what the fakity. What the fakity? That's her channel. Girl is funny. Girl is funny. Just calls like the whole hypocrisy of Erica Kirk and Charlie. Charlie Kirk, I think Charlie Kirk was one of the most stupid people actually to be displayed live on television, on the internet. When you think about how the internet kind of embarrassed Monica Lewinsky, when she started, her affair with Bill Clinton, it was just that time when the internet just was, kind of like coming up, right? And that scandal just, I think it was the first viral scandal on the internet. And then there's Charlie Kirk. I have never seen somebody who displays himself like a fool on the internet more than Charlie Kirk. I have never seen somebody make a fool of himself on the internet more than Charlie Kirk. And I tell you, I have thought about OnlyFans models that he thought were a disgrace. And, you know, a lot of people, right, that Charlie Kirk looked down upon, transgender people, whatever, whatever, whatever. He's the biggest fool on the internet. Like he just made the things that Charlie Kirk said about how other people are foolish just went back to him, right? He says it will be sad to die alone. And he was talking about childless women, women without husbands, or people he thought were lonely because he, as a white man married to Erica with kids, thought he had everything. But the way he died, right? Right now, even the guy that they say killed him, the bullets don't match. The bullets don't match, which makes me think somebody in Charlie's circle probably assassinated him, right? I think he was unalived by people in his circle, not even the people he was shaming, the people he thought that they share the same ideology, that they're furthering the same agenda. I think those are the people who unalived him. Charlie made a fool of himself on the internet. uh, oh, goodness. Overton, you're saying every country in Africa has an US embassy, 54 UK embassy, 54 French embassy, 54 Russia embassy, 54 China embassy, 54 Indian embassy. And I bet you those countries, they would not allow us to put an embassy there. Well, thank you, darling. I want to undo my hair so and do an avocado treatment for my hair and do some Ayurvedic hair treatment as well. I should probably not undo it right now because it's not moist. Africa is behind by design and strategy, right? It can rise by design and strategy, by planning, right? By execution, right? But African leaders are too corrupt. Kenya has eaten its own GDP like 4 or 5 times because of corruption. 3 or 4, 5 times Kenyan's GDP has gone to waste. A whole GDP. It means Kenya would be 5 times ahead where it is right now. But all that money has gone through corruption. Africa is poor by design. Africa is very poor by design. And that kind of corrupt environment is demonic. I'm from Kenya, I'm not from Ethiopia. That corruption that is in Africa is demonic, okay? Because it creates such a hostile environment that Black Africans are not able to thrive in their environment. And when you're not able to thrive in your environment, psychologically, you stay in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, it becomes a negative feedback loop because when you're in survival mode, you're not able to plan for the future, you're not able to gain back your future, everything that you have lost, right? Africa has to wake up, but the forces of darkness ruling this world don't want that to happen. They don't want to develop systems that would uplift Africa because the rise of Africa would mean the demise of some countries, right? Because most of the countries are like parasites feeding on Africa, its resources, including its labor, right? Its manpower and natural resources, right? Most of the world economies are parasites feeding on African resources. It's a continent. It's the richest continent. It's among the richest continents in the world. It is the largest continent, right? Um, but like look at Kenya, right? Kenya alone, let's say a country like Kenya is right now we have one of the most corrupt presidents we've ever had, right? And he's going to steal the elections. He's definitely going to steal the elections. Nobody wants him in power, but he's going to steal the elections. Um, he's been selling Kenya's resources to the West. He's a traitor, right? Um, Kenya has long voted on tribalism. When the British came to power, they had to divide Africans, right? Just like the way they did in Rwanda. They tell the Tutsis, oh, you're better, you're more like us. And the Hutus, mm, you're more like Africans, right? So they try to create these classisms and separate Africans, right? And that's what they kind of did to Africa, right? Um, they come and they divide Africans so that Africans don't unite and fight together. And Kenya still does that to this day, right? Instead of Kenyans going like, okay, we don't need politics, this politics of division, you find that like one of the political leaders who just died, his name was Raila Odinga. He just wanted his community to rule the country. And he one of his agendas that was revealed in Michaela Wrong's book, It's Our Turn to Eat. He had planned, if he went to power, he was going to kill 1 million Kikuyus. He had planned to commit a genocide of, of the Kikuyus. My father is a Kikuyu. So he had planned to kill 1 million of us so that he can change the way Kenya votes, so that our votes don't count and the face of Kenya changes forever. And so, why would I vote for somebody like that? Right? Why would I not be tribal with my vote when I know that voting for somebody could mean the killing of people like me who speak like me, my culture, that would be the end of it. And that's kind of like some of the reasons why, because of the tribalism that is in Africa, there is a lot of corruption. So you find that, like, hey, if we're having a leader, if he wins, he wants us to die. Guess what? If we win, then we are going to exclude those others that did not vote for us. You know, so the focus stops being developing the country. The focus becomes corruption, because corruption is viewed as protection. Like, hey, if you let these other guys take power, they're going to be in every government. They're going to put people like them in power, places of power, in the police force, in the, like, everywhere. So you will find that in Kenya, because we had this president from one tribe called Kalenjin, and he was the president for 25 years. You're going to see that he already made his people to be in almost every part of government, the police, yeah, right? And so they exclude other people. Like they will exclude people from my tribe, people from other tribes, from getting work, from getting even scholarships, let's say scholarships to come to the US. You'll find, like, most people from my tribe, they will not get those scholarships. So you kind of see where Africa now, tribalism becomes like the roots of politics instead of policy, because people are in survival mode. Yeah, like, and then now you find that parasitic people, like, let's say, the Bill Gates, who hate Africans, right? It's easy for them, with all their money, to exploit a corrupt system, to start poisoning Black women, so that Black women are not able to give birth, right? Because people with a white supremacist agenda like Bill Gates, they want to destroy Africans, because, I don't know, they still want to create this white supremacist system. And I really don't know what's their beef with Africans. The only reason that makes me feel they have a beef with Africa is because they know from a spiritual perspective that Africans are God's chosen people. They must know that, because why are they hell-bent on destroying only Africans, right? Why? Why do you think they have that agenda? Because they know the truth, you know. People like Putin know, right? Um, which makes me not worry about it so much, because if it's in God's agenda, there is nothing that they can do, right? God has a way of flipping. God will flip this, right? Um, I really don't think God will allow the West to destroy Africans. Like, look at how much they have tried to destroy Africa. I don't think God, for me, I believe in God, okay? I'm not agnostic. I, I'm not I'm not like religious. I'm very spiritual. I know God exists, right? Um, I love Africa, and I know God has a very special place for Africa. That's why I know evil will not win in the end, right? I know all these systems of darkness, of evil. I know they will not win in the end. um, God will not stop your enemies from trying to destroy you. You know, God will even let your enemies try to destroy you, but they will not, right? This is what I believe 100% when it comes to Africa. For me, I 100% believe Africans and Black people, they are God's chosen people. Because if they were not, God would never start life on this planet in Africa, right? But He started it in Africa. It means, you know, if life started in Africa, Adam is African. All the promises that God has for Adam, everybody, there's a spiritual protection. There's a spiritual protection. Um, I mean, Africa try to even destroy Africa with HIV, and it spreads and spreads and spreads. And then when you see my millennial generation, our parents, like our parent generation, they come in and they educate us about sex education. At this time, we don't even have the cure. They scare the shit out of us. And I tell you, the rates of HIV that were going up fell. In our generation, it fell in Africa. I think this was meant to destroy Africans, but our parent generation, they just were very good teachers. I wouldn't say they were the best, but they really wanted to protect our lives. So this sex education was hammered in primary school, in high school, like kept hammering and hammering, right? And I think that's how some people like me were able to survive my teenagehood, my 20s without having HIV, right? I look like Gabriel Selassie. You're funny. Hey, if I look like General Selassie, His Highness, that's a compliment. A lot of people will ask me if I'm Ethiopian. Like, people rarely guess if I'm Kenyan. At 100%, nobody even ever guesses I'm Kenyan. And I'm like, I look at my hair and I'm like, this is like typical Kenyan hair. Ethiopians have more silky hair. But I don't know, even Ethiopians, uh, uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm a scholar of like I like the way Patrick Professor Lumumba from Kenya. I think he's Kenyan, right? I like the way he analyzes politics. Um, I do look Ethiopian. One like 100%. Like if people ask where I'm from, most people guess I'm Ethiopian. Like I meet Ethiopians. This is how funny it is. I meet Ethiopians. I meet Ethiopians who think I'm Ethiopian. I meet Ethiopians who ask me if I'm Ethiopian. I'm like, nah, this is something. I got it so many times. I'm convinced. I got so many people ask me that. I'm convinced that I may have had a relative that was Ethiopian somewhere in my history. I think somewhere down the history line, I must have had somebody who was Ethiopian, because a lot of Africa, we migrated. Like my people, they did come from the north, right? And then they come from North Africa, they moved down the Nile, and then they went up to the Horn of Africa, near Somali, near Ethiopia. So my people went over there, and the Somalis were very, very hostile towards them. So they moved back and settled in central Kenya. They settled in highlands, and they started farming. And then the British, they come and they find this beautiful land where my family is in, and they start taking land from them. Okay. And land politics is a huge thing in Africa. For me, I'm a big believer. If you're a white man living in Africa and you did not buy your land before independence, I'm a big believer that land should be taken away from you, because that land was not was taken away from somebody so that you can have it, right? They were forced out of their land by the British. I believe because they were forced out of their land, it's only fair you force them out in that case. And I know a lot of people see, oh, that's a radical movement. Let's preserve white people's land. It's not their land. They literally stole it from my people. You know, it should be given back to the government. If they are not able to give it to the government, then they should be taxed heavily for living on those lands, right? To the point where, like, they should pay huge taxes to the government forever in lifetime for taking those lands away from the people. There's no free lunch. Why should they have free land, right? Um, yeah, but that history does not surprise me, because it's the same history that repeated itself here in America. But you know, at first, white people moved so that they can colonize a country and take everything back to the crown. And they started rebelling in Africa. Like they created Rhodesia, South Rhodesia, and Northern Rhodesia in Africa. They started rebelling. They wanted independence from the crown. But those white people who wanted independence from the crown, they wanted to colonize, sort of like how they built the United States, right? The people who came from the United States, they were colonized by the British. They were taking all the taxes back to the British. But before that, right, this was not their land. And kind of that's what people don't understand, like what happened here and what didn't happen in Africa, is that when the white came from Europe, they brought diseases here, and they were able to kill a lot of Native Americans because they brought a lot of disease from Europe, right? And they were able to bring those diseases to the natives who did not have any resistance, and they died. Now in Africa, that's why I say somehow Africa is naturally protected by God, right? Africa had the opposite effect on the British and the people who came to colonize it. They would die quickly of malaria, right? Uh, they would die, because Africa, we have natural, like inherited immunity from things like malaria. when 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 you're when you're white coming to Africa, you don't have any kind of immunity to those small little parasites, you know. And Africans had an understanding. Cognitively, Africa had cognitive superiority on the African plains than the white people. In fact, my people would draw them into the forest because the British did not have any understanding of the terrain, and they would draw them into the forest. And that's where they would really beat them up and take their guns and kill them, to the point where it became uneconomical for them to build lasting um, colonization like they have colonized the United States. It was impossible for them to do that in Africa. So a lot of things worked for Africa, right? First, the African warriors. You never joke with African men trying to protect their women and children. When I tell people I'm proud African because my my ancestors don't joke about me as a black woman in my freedom. Okay. They were buried alive, making sure that I live free. That is why you cannot take that pride from Africa. I know people died and shed blood for me. Like literally people, like I know even the mosquitoes in Africa fought for me. When? Don't be joking with God in Africa. That's why you see me. I don't even hesitate for 2 seconds, okay, to speak against the Trump administration, against people like Melania Trump. I I don't hesitate. Yeah, my people died speaking against the evil of colonization and taking away freedom's rights. If they were prepared to die, I'm prepared to die. Okay? If that's the price I have to pay, so be it. I won't be the first one of my people to die fighting evil regimes, talking shit about them. That's a war I'm ready to die for. So that we are clear. Okay? I'm ready to die for that with poverty. I'm ready to pay for that with poverty, with my life, with everything I got, right? Like, if that's what my life is worth, damn it, I'm happy about that. It's not it's not even something I would think about. Because I'm Kenyan, and every day our flag tells us the blood is the price of freedom, right? So we all know that every Kenyan who's if you see the Kenyan flag, we have red on the Kenyan flag, right? We have, I don't know if you've seen the Kenyan flag. This is one of the most powerful flags in the world. Um, like you cannot, you see this flag? You see this flag right here, right? This black, we have the top here. The top color is black. It's black for the people. Like, we are proudly black. Yeah. Uh, like this is the flag. Like the black is for the people, right? The peace, the white that you see is for the peace. Is for the peace. We are a peaceful nation. But the red, you see it on the shield, you see the shield, right? We have the shield protecting the black people. With the white, we stand for peace, but the blood, the red stands for the blood. Like, this is the price we are willing to pay. This is the price of freedom. We are willing to pay this price. Every Kenyan knows this. When they see the flag every day, it's put in, it's a program, okay? Like, to die for the land, to die for the peace for the black people, that's the price. We are okay with that shit, right? You see Gen Zs demonstrating, they're being killed by the government that we have. They already know. And then green is for the land. The thriving of the land of Kenya, whether is the economy, the healthcare systems, this is something that we haven't fully achieved. The prosperity of the Kenyan people, of the black people, that's the green, right? This, for me, is the most powerful flag on the planet. This flag right here. Like, uh, like we have a song that says, black for the people, green for the land, red for the price of freedom, and white for peace in Kenya. My pride, my joy, my love. Like, you kind of know that. Yeah, I know. I don't want you to die so young. You have a whole lot to give for Africa, or lots of Africa lost them lives. And Africa is no better. It is no better right now because we have a lot of corrupt leaders. Let me tell you, there's a lot there's a lot of potential for black people, but black people will have to figure their shit out very quickly, because, like, I think a lot of white black people don't understand that they have to prioritize things like family. All over the world, like, black people need to understand that they have to prioritize family and the well-being of the family, right? If you attack the family, you destabilize a whole society, right? And all the weapons that are formed, are to destabilize the black family. When white people came to Africa and they started taking the land of Africans living in the highlands, where they have beautiful places for agriculture, stabilizing the economy of the black family. When diseases like HIV um, come, right? Or all these vaccines brought by the Gates Foundation, right? They're here to destroy fertility. They're here to destroy the African family, right? All these ideologies of light skin is better, right? It's just here to destroy the foundations of the black family. it's a real psychological war going on. And those, like, just prioritizing the well-being of the family is a huge win, you know, for Black people. But who's going to tell Black men that? Who's going to tell Black men, take your kids all over the world, right? Black people are so programmed, you know, that I don't know. I don't know what's going to save the mentality, the belief system. Yeah, overturn. So you need to attend more of my classes. Deprogramming those, deprogramming these notions is very difficult. We have a Black culture fighting against the prosperity of the Black family. You know, like a lot of hip hop, right? Like hip hop, and hip hop is entertaining. There's a lot of industry that has helped Black culture and everything, but it has destroyed Black people in the same breath, right? um a culture that calls its women bitches, whores, you know, uh, like devalues the woman in their society and is proud of that. um you can see Black culture, with BBL. You can see how scattering everything is, right? The hip hop and Black culture, right? um First, they promote only light skinned women, right? White light skinned women are kind of like the preferred kind of women, and so you find that that is a destruction of the African culture itself. Like, we are Black people. Like, if you're out there saying light is better, you're not helping this idea of white supremacy, right? And that is what the hip hop culture is doing, right? The hip hop culture is killing women because of promoting things like the Brazilian butt lifts. Very, very, very um dangerous surgeries that kill women, leaving people without mothers, without sisters, right? And then just promoting this culture of just promiscuity, where all these women want now is that sexual attention. You know, women can do more than just getting sexual attention, right? But it's the culture, right? Um, Encourages things like clubbing, drinking alcohol, all these vices and places that encourage, like, the use of drugs. Women are raped, environments that just are toxic to culture, where diseases spread like wildfire. And if you don't think like all these things are related, you just go to places like Houston. I hear that HIV there is spreading like wildfire. And now when you start getting those stereotypes where people are like, they think you're Black, you must have HIV, or some STD, it becomes a real drag on the community and the environment, right? And then it perpetuates all these racism that already exist. It's not really helping. It's not really helping. Okay? Like, if you think about like BBL and how dumb they make you look, right? The BBL are kind of like a ghetto. It's a ghetto thing to do, to put plastic in your body. Everybody who is having a good head on their shoulder right now, they're avoiding microplastics. We are avoiding water bottles that have plastic. We are avoiding tea bags because they have microplastic, right? We are trying to live this healthy lifestyle so that we can live longer, right? And then hip hop is just encouraging more and more Black women. I know white women are doing it, right? It started with white women putting plastic and silicone on their boobs, yeah, and calling us backwards. Okay, so I'm not lost in that whole thing, right? But now in this culture where we are avoiding plastics, the microplastic cause cancer, and it's hard for you to just be made of plastic. You want to be organic as possible because that is good health. But oh, let's put more plastic on your butt. Let's put plastic on on your boobs. Yeah, they want you to be Barbie, right? Um, this is how we are, right? Let me tell you right now, if I was to just have a boob job and have like boobs like this, right? I would have like 500,000 followers probably by 2 days. Okay. And I'd never have to work an 8 to 5 job ever again in my life, right? I would look stupid, but I would have money. Okay? Look at Kim Kardashian with all her big behind, right? Look at all these celebrities, Nicki Minaj. Look at what's the other girl? Cardi B, right? She looks like turkey legs and all that, right? Uh see, like, there is a cost to being educated and having common sense that obviously is not rewarded in this society, right? um so like I don't regret my decisions to not do a boob job and to not get a butt lift. I don't regret my decision to wear my natural hair, and accept it for what it is. Like like I am okay with my beauty as it is. I am not insecure. I eat healthy. I try to drink water. I try to exercise. I try to educate my mind. That way, I don't fall into these insecurities that women have. Okay, if if I never get married, have kids, that's okay, right? Um, People, it's survival for the fetus, right? It's sexual selection. If you're not sexually selected, it's just the world saying that your genes attractive enough to be passed on to their next generation, which is okay. I'm fine with that whole Darwinism and the theory of sexual selection. It depends on whose voice is the loudest. By the way, are you listening? Not you, I'm saying in general. I like natural, but yeah, you're one voice for sure. Right? You're one voice for sure. Um, the rest of the world, you can see what it's naturally gravitating towards, right? Um, like those are kind of hard facts and realities. And, so I don't blame people if, I'm personally, I'm not going to put plastic in my body. Okay, I'm not going to put silicone for my lips. I'm not going to put silicone for my boobs. I'm not going to do that shit. Um like I'm a stoic, right? I'm going to be who I am. I'm not going to put microplastics or foreign objects in my body so that people can find me more attractive, right? No. I plus, if I had children, let's say for example, oh, I put on fake boobs so that somebody can find me more sexually attractive, and they wanted to have a family with me. Like I'm just looking for a man, right? And I'm thinking, oh, this is what will give me a good life. And let's say I'm successful, right? And I get a man who likes my fake boobs, and I get a man who likes my fake butt. What is going to stop my children from wanting to live this, to make the same stupid decisions I made? How am I going to stop them? You know, because a lot of men would rather have a stupid woman who puts all these things into their body, right? As long as she's beautiful, than have an average looking, intelligent woman, right? That is what a lot of men would rather have, right? So now you have had children with the stupid woman, right? You've had kids with a stupid woman, and their kids, and now your kids are going to be stupid, right? Now your kids are going to be stupid, and that's how you perpetuate not people who can read, come up with ideas, people who can create better systems. No, people, it's just the people who are so willing to just put silicone on their butt and their boobs, people who are willing to wear lashes that look like they are flying away, you know. Those are the ones who win sexual evolution, and those are the ones, those are the people who win sexual selection, and those are the people who get to pass their genes, and those are the people you're going to get stuck with in the future. But people don't care about whether it looks bad when you get older, okay? If 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 people cared about how you look when you get older, trust me, most people will not marry white women, okay? Because white women my age, you've seen how people do those those um those things about women at their 50s. Black women and white women were competing on the internet about who looks more 50, who looks a younger 50 than the other, right? If that's what they care about, people don't care about those things. People, when they're young, you know how they said the youth is lost on the young, like the young people are stupid, so youth is wasted on the young. That's that's the chaotic life we live by. And that's why you see, since sexual selection is about beauty, not really whether you are intelligent or not, right? You always see that the masses get ruled by the few elite, by the few elite who are actually intelligent, who actually use intelligence, right? They will always rule over the masses because the masses are just concerned on stuff like sex, food. That's pretty much what everybody else is concerned about. Like, can we have sex and have food? Most people, that's all. That's where, yeah, that's all about the thinking that they can master at this point, right? That's all about it. Everything is driven by basic human survival instincts like sex and food. Most of the people, the story ends there. There is no spiritual growth like love, living in harmony, cooperation, whatever it is for them to get food and sex. That's it. Story ends there. That's why you see there is no problem for a woman to go risk a life surgery to get a BBL, right? So she can have more sexual interests because it's better than investing in an actual career because careers take a long time. Like, good morning from Hawaii and aloha, one and only Robert. Do you remember me? Hey, Robert. Yeah, I remember you. Puali from Hawaii. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Anyway, it's my Saturday. I'm undoing my hair because I want to treat this hair. I'll probably do some cornrows. I wanted to go shopping, but me, I'm Kenyan. I'm a Kenyan girl. On a good note, um, I'm creating my website for my coaching classes. Make sure you tell your friends, your relatives. We will have a community there. And the community is mostly going to help us to connect. And it's really about helping you create your own wins in life, right? And your own wins doesn't have to be, I mean, if you go start your own business, make money, talk about it, that's great. But your wins can be, you know, something that has helped you in your relationships, something that has helped you in your health, something that has helped you, you know, in in something, breaking through something, right? All those wins, you know, if somebody has a problem that they're sharing in the community and you've gone through that, you know, you can write them, you know, and encourage them or share information. um just, I believe a sense of community is good for mental health, is good for helping us create thriving relationships. And you know, in a world that's sometimes moving too fast and destroying our sense of community, it's good that we all find communities that encourage good common sense, good mental health. Like, I feel like as we become more developed and globalized and the internet is taking over, it's good that you find yourself a community of people who want to practice healthy relationships, people who want to practice good, you know, relationships, good boundaries, and be around like-minded people who respect other people, regardless of where they are from, regardless of what country they come from. I mean, I have people from all over the world on this channel. So when we create that website, make sure you join in the website, make sure you're sharing how you're living a life of good mental health wherever you are in the world, despite the political situation on the planet where you are from. You're educating yourself, and other people, about what's happening around you, the systems in place, how they are working, right? We need to do this around our communities. We need to create communities like this, okay? So that, all these people, like the elite, okay, they have their own secret societies, and they use those societies to control the world, right? And it's high time we also create our own societies that protect our way of thinking, so we are not always manipulated by people because they have money and power, and they can broadcast whatever evil ideas they have, and we don't have money, right? Forming our own communities where we are, where we educate each other, it is a way of revolting. It is a way of fighting back ignorance. It's a way of fighting this mass programming that they want to program us, right? Like, you gotta be able to see these things and understand your environment as your environment is changing, right? Because mental health comes from mastering your environment, understanding the situation you're in and the environment you're in is so good, because only when you understand the environment you're in can you overcome it and master it. You cannot have good mental health if you don't understand the environment you're in, right? Like, I cannot stay in America and prosper and ignore that I live in a racist environment. How am I going to overcome the environment that I don't know exists, right? People's mentalities and their way of thinking. How can I conquer those mentalities when I don't understand the environment that I am in? How can I create my own healthy place and environment if I ignore, you know, what's around me, right? I teach mental health, and I teach mastering your environment, mastering yourself, right? That way other people don't control you, and other people don't tell you how to think about your life. You're the one on the driver's seat. You're not the one being driven around and being chauffeured around when it comes to your life, right? That's the community, like, I am looking forward to create some. I'll be happy to see you guys sign up and join the communities at posttraumaticbliss.com. We are still creating the website. So, yeah, let's do the blessing and the live stream. May you be happy and live with a joyful heart. May you be strong and healthy and live with a body that gives you energy. And may you be safe and protected from all sorts of inner and outer harm. And may you live with the ease that comes with well being. Always remember, you always win 100% when you live with the ease that comes with well being. Every enemy wants to destabilize you, to bring internal chaos into your life. But when you master how to live with the ease that comes with well being, you become unshakable, because nobody can force you not to sleep at night. You already know how to live a life that brings ease and well being. So I love you. God bless you. Take good care of yourself and your family. Take good care of your mental health. Create a safe environment that helps you thrive, right? When people are manufacturing chaos, create paradise for yourself, a life that is peaceful for you. Because when you do that, you win 100% every time. I love you. God bless you. Take care. Now I'm going to do my hair.